The 270-degree rotation of the gastrointestinal tract happens during the second month of embryological development. During this period, the GI tract starts out as a straight line and consists of the foregut, midgut, and hindgut. The midgut is continuous with the vitelline duct or yolk stalk, which will eventually become obliterated. Each section of the GI tract receives its arterial supply from bifurcating branches of the aorta. These branches include the celiac trunk, which supplies the foregut, the superior mesenteric artery, which supplies the midgut, and the inferior mesenteric artery, which supplies the hindgut. The first 90-degree rotation occurs as the midgut elongates and protrudes into the umbilical cord. As it protrudes, the midgut makes a quarter turn counterclockwise around the axis of the superior mesenteric artery, so that the distal part is on the left and the proximal part is on the right. The distal part forms a bulge that later becomes the cecum, and the proximal part becomes convoluted. The body continues to grow, and by the 10th week, the abdominal cavity becomes large enough for the midgut to return. The proximal part, which will become the jejunum, returns first by passing under and to the left of the distal part. This completes the second 90 degrees of rotation. The final 90 degrees of rotation occurs as the distal portion of the GI tract returns and ends with the cecum lying in the lower right quadrant and the transverse colon lying anterior to the distal duodenum. Several clinical correlations occur as a result of this process. The following animation shows the first rotation moving clockwise, or in the opposite direction, and the final rotation ends with the cecum in the left quadrant instead of the right. This anomaly is part of a congenital condition called situs inversus, where the major organs develop as a mirror image from normal. Another congenital condition is malrotation that often leads to midgut volvulus. When the gastrointestinal tract does not rotate correctly, the cecum can end up in the upper right quadrant of the abdomen. As a result, blockage of the duodenum can occur from peritoneal tissue, or Ladd's bands, that extend from the cecum to the abdominal wall. Midgut volvulus often ensues and can cause ischemia, bowel obstruction, and intestinal swelling. Volvulus can also occur without congenital malrotation. Hindgut volvulus, which is more common in middle-aged to elderly men, occurs most often in the sigmoid colon and in the cecum, and like volvulus in the midgut, can cause bowel obstruction, ischemia, and severe swelling.